Hey there, good afternoon. Oh, at least it's afternoon here in Ohio. Like 4 o'clock-ish maybe? I don't know. Anyhow, Mark Batson put out this thing about tools you use on every build. And even though this is going to be kind of redundant of what everybody else is showing, I'll just go through mine real quick. Of course, I got my messy bench. What would it be if it wasn't messy? And I got my self-healing cutting mat here. I'd like to get a bigger one. At one time, this desk was covered with a piece of tabletop glass, which was really nice for cutting on. But when I moved to my first house years and years ago, I had it in the back of my dad's pickup, and we put a blanket, like a V thing, and wrapped it against the tailgate of the truck, and we put everything in there. So we get to my house, and we put the first stuff in the garage. Then we decided to pull forward to load stuff into the front of the house in the living room. Well, that glass was standing there against the desk, and here's the open truck, and my dad pulled away, and the glass fell and bam, hit the driveway and shattered. And I never got a new one because it was kind of expensive for that. I guess they call it tempered or whatever, you know, the kind of glass they put on top of tables. So I just never got it. So anyhow, of course, when it comes to tools, what's any modeler without the X-Acto knife? I've got a few of these in my stash. This is a one from the 80s. You can tell by the color, but it's got the little square thing here, so and even it can roll to a degree. Maybe because this plastic's all swelled up. Anyhow, yeah, focus a little better there, won't you? Here we go. Yeah, so my buddy Daryl, which I got a lot of this stuff from when he gave up modeling, and I bought it from him. And this here, he had a round knife that rolled off his table one time. And when it did, he tells me, I wasn't there to see this, and I may have told the story before. The knife rolled and turned, something like that. He reached to get it, and he hit it like this. And when he did, it went down and went boing and stuck in his leg like that. So he said he pulled it out, stuck it back up there, and went about his modeling. And he felt a warm, wet sensation. And he looked down on his jeans here, and he saw a spot growing out. Yeah, so be careful with those things. They're dangerous. Okay, and of course, one of my recent additions is my Tamiya Scriber, which works pretty dang good, but it can jump out of shallower, door lines and trunk lines and scratch stuff for you. These I've had for decades. A buddy of mine left them at my house, and so they became mine. They look like somebody welded them together here, and there's so much paint on these things, it's not funny. I should just put them in some stripper, or, you know, if I take a hammer and whack on them, it'll come off. Now, these aren't good for thicker things because they won't close enough down here. See, they come apart pretty easy, but they're good for when I'm painting something thin or small. You know, I'll put a toothpick in there like that, put a part on it, and then, you know, I could spray paint it and do the rotisserie thing and get all the angles. That's why it has all the paint. But just as well as those comes in the vice grips. This is an actual pair of vice grip brand vice grips, and you can see all the paint on those. A lot of times when I do bodies, see, this one already has the inner fenders not molded, but if they have any firewall or inner fender, I'll often clip to that, and then I can paint it. You know, do the rotisserie, keep it level, and all that good stuff. And then I'll just touch up wherever these were, because they'll leave a blank spot in the paint. So yeah, I got several of these. I got some cheapo brand ones I got at Hardware Freight. You do got to be careful using these though, because as you're turning them, you know, to do your thing, it's easy to, depending on which way the latch goes, to do that and drop your part or your die-cast card. It's a big mess. And of course, what modeler doesn't have tweezers? I got several different ones of different qualities. Some work better than others. Some get bent and they don't grip small things, or they shoot small things out. But what would you be without them? But those, you know, and I got the sprue cutters, which I already need another pair of. These are dulling down already. These are Excels, but man, they didn't really hold up very well. Kind of disappointed me. Focus, there you go, a little bit better. Yeah, they didn't wear too well. Probably have to spend the money and get some better ones. And Some tools I don't use every build, but I do use are the miter boxes. Now I got this one here, these metal ones here, which I think, yeah, one's a little deeper. And you get your razor saw. Now, razor saws have different height blades here. As you can see, this one's deeper, which is better for the deeper miter boxes. Because otherwise, what will happen is if you put the shallow saw in the deeper box, it doesn't go down far enough. Unless that's what you want. If you want to make a notch in something, that'll probably work. But you get the deeper one, and it cuts all the way down. Now, what's nice about these miter boxes, you know, they accept various plastic, you know, various angles depending on its size. You know, some fit in there better than others, but they help keep you getting a nice straight cut or 45-degree cut. And you just basically take this, let me pull the camera back, and put it on the edge of your table so it doesn't move, like so. And there you go. Then you can just zip them whatever you want. And I have this one. I almost forgot I owned this. This is in my, there's the number. Midwest Products. This one here, as you can see, has 60, 30, 0, 22.5, and 45-degree cuts, which is really nice. But it is plastic, so you know you can see where it's scratched. Excuse me. The surface a little bit. If you ain't careful, you'll end up cutting this thing in half. I don't think I've ever used this. I got this from another friend of mine when he got out of modeling, and it's been in one of my storage containers of model tools and parts. But yeah, that's, you know, it's one of those things I don't use every time unless I'm scratch building something. Then of course a pin vise, which doesn't get much use unless I'm you know, I'm going to do wiring or lines or something. But yeah, you got to have at least one of these. You want one that goes down as small as possible in the chuck, because otherwise the really smaller bits in this won't fit. They'll just spin. But there's that, and you know, of course, dude, where would you be without toothpicks? I got plenty of those. I always, whenever I'm in a dollar store type thing, I always pick up more. And somewhere around here, well, I got more stored away, but I keep these makeup type Q-tips in my box of goodies. But yeah, that's the general tools. I mean, nothing any, you know, well, what else? Scissors, you know, gotta have those. Markers and pens and stuff. That's pretty much it. I mean, there's some stuff that gets used every build, and there's stuff that doesn't get used every build. But that's my contribution to the tools I use by Mark Batson's request. So, okay, well, hey, that's going to be it for this video. I got another one coming up here too, for some other stuff, and but I want to get that out of the way. So, talk to you later and stay tuned for more. Thank you. Bye-bye.